Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we celebrate world-class entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Our show today is the UK News and Culture, episode 126. I am your host, DIANN Floyd BOEHM. If you're joining us for the first time, wherever you are in the world, we're thrilled to have you, and we thank you, especially to all our dedicated viewers. Dr. JACALYN, founder and CEO of USA Global TV and Radio, is producing the show today. Well, it's time to welcome our expert correspondents joining us from the United Kingdom. First, we have the talented, the beautiful HELENA CHARD. If you have not seen the Royal Breaking News London and the star of the Royally Rich Lifestyle show, please do check out the show. They both are totally incredible. Let's welcome HELENA CHARD to the program.
Oh, thank you so much, Diane. What a lovely intro. Oh, thank you. I love being able to give UK news to you guys. I really enjoy it. And obviously it's got a royal slant, a lot of it. So thank you. It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you.
And
we're so lucky to have you. Excuse me, I have a little cold today. But we're so lucky to have you. And I always look forward to what you have to share with us. You're such an inspiration, and you give so much. You just do so much for the UK, and they're so blessed to have you representing.
Thank you. That's lovely. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Well, let's bring out our other special correspondent all the way from Scotland, Simon Macdonald. Now, he is an author, an expert in fishery, a keynote speaker, a chef, and does a presentation every week for us. Let's welcome Simon Macdonald.
Hello, lovely to be back. It's Wednesday, the best day of the week. So I'm so really looking forward to today's show. Oh, and HELENA, you're looking so suntanned and so on. But then in the deep south.
I'm incredibly hot. I'm so hot, guys. So I do apologise if I suddenly just go whoop. Carry on without me.
It's sunny and warm in Scotland as well, but it's just unfortunate. I've been so busy today, I haven't been able to go out and get a HELENA CHARD tan. Try saying that after you've had a drink or two. My goodness, a HELENA CHARD tan. Yes, okay.
That is a mouthful. And considering you're going to be talking about whiskey today.
Yeah. I think you may have had a couple.
Yes, oh, absolutely, and of course, I have come prepared as well, so that's rather big.
Well, it's morning time here, so that looks really strange to me.
Well, it's thirsty work doing this,
Yeah, that's true. But I can't wait to hear what all's happening in the world over there. I know there's a lot happening here that I just wish everybody would keep love in their hearts as we work through the political system going on. So I hope you'll have happier news to bring us today. HELENA, you ready to get started?
No, am I ready to get started? Yeah, I guess I can. I've just got a variety of royal news. I've been. It's sort of, it's a roundup. It's things, bits and pieces from a little while ago, and current stuff. But there's lots of things. I just got a few things for you. Just thought we could even have a chat about it. So let's see.
Absolutely.
So. Great. So thanks, everyone. So this is my royal roundup, and I just had to start with Harry's bombshell admission that the media intrusion pushed him to step back from royal duties. So I think possibly everyone has seen Tabloids on Trial, which was something that was shown on ITV about press invasion, and it's Prince Harry's mission to expose the illegal tactics of Britain's tabloid press. I found it incredibly interesting This is to do with the UK phone hacking scandal, which was sort of illegal gathering of information from 95 to 2012. Lots of people involved, Hugh Grant, his famous stars. But it seems that the Pied Piper is Prince Harry. A lot of this documentary was about him and his mission to right the wrongdoing, I think is what he's trying to do. He's the first senior royal in more than 130 years to appear in the witness box, and he gave evidence against the MGN group. He actually did win the Mirror group. He's sort of carrying on as well with other media outlets. I have my thoughts on this. I find it incredible because he voices his concern about protecting his family's privacy. So, I mean, how ironic after everything that's been done, that he has done to his own family as well. So it's a bit of a blame game. And my feeling is, there needs to be a little bit more love and not just blame as the heart of everything he does. Needs some common sense there, and victimhood has to really be out of the window. So I don't know I hear these things going on. I don't know what people hear in the States, but I just wish that he would move on and do some good things. I'm sure that is going to hopefully he'll rear his head in a positive way. Anyway, I just thought I'd add that. I wasn't going to speak about that, in fact, and I just decided to do it last minute. But I'm actually going to go on to something that I was going to talk about, that he's about to inherit a huge amount of money. Now, this is over 7 million, possibly 8 million, and this is due to his late grandmother. Now, the late Queen Mother, so the late Queen Elizabeth's mother, that's right, yes, the grandmother. He is going to inherit this when he turns 40 in September. Now, she set up a trust fund for him and William before she died. She died in 2002 at the age of roughly 101. And I mean, she really was a strong matriarch of the family. And I'd have to say she would be absolutely appalled and upset with how things have turned out. She was incredibly close to Harry. She had, in fact, I think the Queen Mum had a huge bond with all of the grandchildren. They adored her sense of humour. They used to do mimicking, used to have such fun times. And I know that Queen Mum used to love a tipple or two. I just know that she'd be so disappointed to see Harry going down the route. I suppose it's almost like history reenacting itself. He's actually going to get more than Prince William, just because he would be seen to be making less money overall, because obviously as the Duchy of Cornwall, Prince William's set to make money that Prince Harry will not make. Anyway, that's about him inheriting. This money was put in trust in 1994, and he will be getting it in September. So lucky them. Moving on to King Charles, he has opened one of his favourite Scottish retreats that no doubt Simon knows a lot about, private dinners this summer. It's a unique chance to really do what he does. And this is a dining experience at the Castle of May. This was home to the Queen Mother, so I felt this led on quite well. So parties of up to 12 can actually book and have like a champagne tour of this 16th century castle, which is beautiful, isn't it? Served at the King's table in the dining room, which King Charles still uses, with an option of whiskey or gin tasting in the drawing room and live music from a piper to follow. So a great time. Obviously, people can already stay at the luxurious Granary Lodge at the castle between April and October. Just a reminder, the Queen Mum bought the castle in 1952 following her husband George VI's death. She used to spend like 3 weeks there each August and 10 days in October. And then it was opened as a trust, so the Queen Elizabeth Castle of May Trust. So obviously open to the public, I think, since 2002. Since 2019, proceeds from the tours, etc., go to the King's Foundation. So it does an awful amount of good. Looks after the historic property and the gardens, and also it helps educate something like 15,000 students yearly, and it's on like wellbeing programs and things that support the traditional and arts and crafts. So really, really lovely. And that's something I really, really want to do. I think it's Caithness. So I'm excited about that. Moving on as well, something that I remember the late Princess Diana, the beautiful late Princess Diana. She loved her Lady Dior bag. Now, it was named Lady Dior after, it was actually originally called the Choo Choo bag. That's a beautiful, I love that photograph because I can actually see Jenny Bond, who's a really great correspondent, royal correspondent here in the UK, just in the background there, but doesn't Princess Diana look absolutely stunning? So just imagine that Dior actually named the bag after her, Lady Dior, and she had a bag in every single colour, and she was always out and about in it. I think there's something about her. She sort of had a boss woman status in the 90s, and a really great relationship with lots of the top fashion houses. And obviously Christian Dior worked with her, which was absolutely amazing. Reason why I'm bringing that up is now we've seen Meghan Markle carrying a Dior bag, or should I say, I'll call her Meghan Markle, carrying a Dior bag embroidered with her royal title on it. So it's odd that she sort of carried this on, but I suppose inevitable. And she also has, I think she has her title on it, which is DSSOS. So that's the Duchess of Sussex. And she's been recently seen out and about on Girls' Lunch and several really sort of high-powered little things that she's been on. But I just think that's just quite interesting. And I love all the fashion side of things, which is really, really beautiful. It'd be lovely to speak about the late Princess Diana more, in fact. And something else which I found absolutely strange in a certain way, something I don't necessarily agree on, but Society Bible, that's Tatler magazine, has compiled a list of their best dressed people for 2024. And surprisingly, an unlikely royal has scooped the crown. Now, people may be thinking, maybe Princess of Wales, but no, absolutely not. Somebody who is 35 has been dubbed the Princess of Perfection. And in fact, it's Princess Beatrice. Now, that's obviously Prince Andrew's and Sarah Ferguson's daughter. Now, that's a funny picture of her at the beginning because she's had a huge style transformation. And to begin with, you can see that funny hat, which was auctioned off. And people always used to question both the sisters' fashion style. But she's had a style transformation, I think, to do with Olivia Buckingham, which is a very apt name, who is her new stylist. So this is obviously her new weapon. They've paired up, and now it's all to do with women feeling empowered and confident. And that's what clothes are all about, which I absolutely agree. I'm not too sure that I think she's the most stylish, but hey, good for her. I think as well she's had some bad luck, and she's such a lovely person. Both of the sisters are. They've got such love in their hearts. So I'm glad that she's been given this honour. And we do remember, I don't know if everyone remembers, that the Princess Royal, that's Princess Anne, she became an unlikely men's fashion icon, and it was Fendi who decided that she was her inspiration to bring out this fashion line, the most elegant and chicest woman in the world, and that was Princess Anne. Moving on to Princess Anne as well, she's been sparking royal frenzy at the Paris Olympics at the moment, absolutely delighting the fans because she's been there for a while. That's her with her husband. She's stepped in and first of all, I think she congratulated Adam Peaty. In fact, congratulations to lots of people. And I think GB at the moment, we're in fourth place, which is amazing. 6 gold medals, 6 silver, 5 bronze, unless it's changed in the interim. But she is a great sports person. She was in the 1976 Olympics where she did the 3-day equestrian event. I did say she was a horse rider the other day, a racing horse rider, which she absolutely isn't. She's won medals as well at various other high events. And also Zara Phillips, her daughter, as we know, became an eventer, and she won the silver award at the Olympics in 2012. So I think it's great that she's there. She's spending some time there. She's given such a G to the sports people. it's empowering, and I just find the Olympics in general is so inspiring, and also so inspiring to see Celine Dion. If people haven't seen Celine Dion, the documentary about her, I Am Celine Dion, I really think that everyone should watch it. Every emotion, I mean, I experienced while watching that. So wonderful to see her. She made a return, really singing outside in front of the Eiffel Tower. Beautiful rendition. It's a hymn, L'amour or something. And as I don't know if people know, but she has stiff person syndrome. So it is amazing that she hasn't performed since 2021, where she had to cancel her Las Vegas residency. So to come back now, it just is so inspiring. And also Super Trooper Princess Anne again, seasoned advice from Princess Anne. She is, I think this is very sweet. And in fact, they will work very well together. So the Princess Royal is teaching the princess pitfalls. Now, this is Princess Charlotte. The Prince and Princess of Wales are absolutely so thankful to Princess Anne, who has taken 9-year-old Charlotte under her wing, and teaching her all the things, basically what you should and shouldn't do, quite for obvious reasons, as you can imagine. But it's sort of like her next stage of training. So she doesn't make mistakes that quite obviously can happen, and we can see that playing out at the moment. She's been also, they've been enjoying themselves. You know, they've got a close bond. They've been talking about everything from women's football to, you know, sailing, ballet, fashion, and she's, I suppose, teaching her to be the perfect standby queen and how to foster a healthy relationship with her brother. So as not to ensure that they won't end up rivals like William and Harry, and instead that they'll be like, have a mutual respect for each other. So I think that's a really lovely thing to see, and I really love to see how that plays out, because we know that Princess Charlotte is very vocal, she's very bright, she's very in the now, so she takes, you know, she joins in with conversations, which I think for a young girl obviously it's so important. But anyway, I've got lots of other news, but I think I will stop there, and I can always add something later if necessary, as I'm not too sure what time it is or how long I've been. I'm just wittering away.
No, that was absolutely fabulous. I don't even know where to start in talking about everything.
Goodness
because
me,
I love, I had no idea all that was going on with Harry, but I absolutely love Yay for Beatrice. That is so wonderful, because I remember when they smeared her with that hat, and I'm just thinking she was brave to wear that. I thought it was kind of cool. And then, Princess Anne and Charlotte, that is just brilliant, because she knows what it's like when you're a teenager and you're shy, you're going through all the changes, and then you have these people glaring at you. So good, yay.
I think it's fabulous. I think really, I think it's wonderful. And Princess Anne, I mean, the Princess Royal, I think she can do so much. I mean, obviously she's just had the horse accident, etc., but she's recuperating in a way, but still working. And she can do so much, and she will do a lot of good, I think, from a communication point of view in due course with the royal family, especially the brothers, as in William and Harry.
Yeah, William and Harry.
The saga continues.
It's that hat that Beatrice was wearing there at the wedding. I mean, I can't get over that hat. I mean, one minute I think it looks like, you know, the antlers on an antelope, and the next minute I think it looks more like a toilet seat. I mean, it's the most bizarre piece of headgear ever.
It's amazing. The only good thing, look at that, look at Charlotte and Princess Anne. That's so lovely. That's Yeah, that's from the Order of the Garter, because I can see Anne in all that feathers and plumes. But no, it's funny, isn't it? I think that was Prince and Princess. Was it their wedding day? But anyway, the good thing about that hat, I mean, I know she was attacked viciously by the media, was that it was auctioned off for charity. So there's always a good news story there.
Yeah.
And somebody actually paid money for it. Goodness gracious.
Of course. And
so I have a question for you, and if it's inappropriate, tell me, but I want to learn, because I think many Americans don't understand. When Prince Harry got on the airplane and he held that sign, I think it said "We're free" or something like that, I thought he was walking away. And then when you're no longer going to appreciate what you were born into, how can you still be a prince? And how can your wife be putting all of that all in her gear when in America everybody's supposedly equal? So how come we get to still have those titles?
Well, Prince Harry will always be a prince because of that's his birthright. His children actually, in a way, didn't necessarily need royal titles. As you can understand, Meghan will hang on to anything because it gives her a platform. It's it's a hard one, isn't it? It's just, I have my thoughts completely. I mean, I'm so sick of the victimhood. I'm sick of everything. I mean, the laugh watching the documentary with him saying that he was the best person to and there he is. He actually says, talking about tabloids, about protecting his family privacy when he's just thrown his whole family under a bus. I mean, there's a lot. There's lots of things going on. I think as well, King Charles he's great. Don't get me wrong, I think he's brilliant. He's bright, he's fabulous. When it comes to his darling boys as well, he's reticent. He doesn't want to cut Harry off. And I think he's also mindful that in years to come, what's going to happen if the money dries up. And he doesn't want to he's a councillor of state still, which is just incredible, which means he does still have some royal clout there. And everyone's sort of waiting to know what's happening. It's an odd one, but let's see. I don't have the answer, but I can be quite damning really in my thoughts, so I think I should shut up.
I was just curious. I hope you didn't mind me asking.
No, it's absolutely fine. I think it's all over the place, isn't it? Everyone knows but there's lots of ironies that I see with Harry and Meghan, that is, because they do come as a pair. Obviously, they're married. Yeah. So
$7 million too. Oh my goodness gracious!
No, I think it's more like 8,000. It'd be more because it's about $8 million because he gets more than his brother. So 8 million sterling is what's that? Is that like 10?
Oh, sterling. Thank you.
Yeah,
it's even more. I think
so. It's US. Wow. It's about 10.
It'll top up the petty cash.
Hopefully, he had her sign one of those. What do they call it? Where the money is yours, and
I bet he hasn't. Anyway, they drew the lucky straw there, didn't they? So there's lots going on, but
anyway,
as you say, everyone needs to have more love in their heart, and I think there's too much upset going on in the world, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a great thing on Facebook, and it shows a gentleman thinking like this: oh, before Facebook, wasn't it wonderful when everybody kept all that junk in their mind? I thought that was lovely. I got a good chuckle out of that. Anyway.
Oh,
so
good.
So Simon, are you about ready?
I'm ready and raring to go. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so Helena, are you staying with us, or do you have to?
I will leave you now. I love and leave you, but I will probably be listening in the background. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We love having you.
Thank you so much, and see you soon.
See you soon. Simon, I can't wait to hear your presentation today. And before we get started, though, I hope everything's well in the world in Scotland. Everyone's happy and singing and dancing.
Absolutely, everybody's just in mint condition here, and the tourists are out and about and so on. But I just wish people would slow down on the roads. The roads here, they're a bit sort of twisty and turny and so on. And sadly, there's been a lot of accidents recently. There was one in the local village here as well, where a girl, 29-year-old girl, lost her life on her motorbike on a roundabout. So, please, enjoy Scotland when you come here, but just slow down and take it easy.
Yeah, that is for sure. Well, let's get started with your great presentation. I can't wait to hear what it's all about. I know it's whiskey, but that's all I know.
Well, there we are. This week, I am looking at revisiting the SS Politician, famous for its part with whiskey galore in the movies and the books. So it's precisely 83 years, actually, since the historical event which inspired the book and the film of Whiskey Galore. But the true story of the sinking of the SS Politician is even more remarkable than the fictional tale. 83 years ago, in the morning of the 5th of February 1941, during the war years, the SS Politician was heading north past the Scottish Outer Hebrides, having cast off from Liverpool 2 days earlier. Its final destinations, well, Kingston, Jamaica, and New Orleans. After passing the Isle of Man, the weather had worsened, the wind had risen to gale force, and the ship's captain, Beaconsfield Worthington, changed course as a result. Now, this was an unwanted distraction and difficulty for a crew anticipating a winter crossing of a U-boat-infested Atlantic Ocean. Then things got considerably worse. As the winds drove the SS Politician further off course, at 7:40 a.m., a lookout glimpsed land. In desperation, the ship swung away, only to founder on unseen sandbanks off Rusnish Point on the Isle of Eriskay. Events moved quickly after that. The ship's fuel tanks were ruptured, its engines gave up minutes later, leaving the crew to await rescue and salvage of their precious cargo. To the locals, beset by the deprivations of war and rationing, well, this was too good an opportunity to miss. Unofficial local, shall we say, salvage parties began to form, with men and some of them even donning their wives' old dresses to prevent their own clothes from becoming stained by incriminating ship's oil. Well, the SS Politician was carrying all manner of trade goods, from cotton to medicines to biscuits, bicycles, but the ship is best remembered for the contents of hold number 5, which was some 264,000 bottles of Scotch whisky. That landing on a Hebridean island, oh my goodness. Well, they came from far afield, as the Isle of Lewis, and according to reports at the time, few of any regarded what they were doing as stealing. The foundering of the ship made its cargo theirs to save under the rules of salvage. Quite right, too. Well, the authorities, however, didn't share this view, not least because the whisky was destined for the United States, so no excise duty had been paid on it, so they wanted their crust of money out of that. There followed a second attempted land-borne salvage operation, with the police raiding villages and crofts in an effort to recover the liquid cargo, and the locals secreting their ill-gotten gains wherever they could, under floorboards and water tanks, under rocks, buried in the sand on the beaches, and even hidden under the eaves of their homes. Many of the locals who enjoyed the amber nectar simply just drank them. I mean, why not? Some of the salvagers, however, ended up in court, with a few even having to serve short jail sentences, probably to sober up. But many of the estimated 24,000 bottles of whisky salvaged from the wreck by the islanders were never actually seen again. Government excise men, along with the local police, searched the island homes and crofts for the missing whisky. Their searches proved to be spectacularly unsuccessful, with only 2 cases of whisky actually being found. Now, this was due in part to the strong religious beliefs on the Western Isles of not working on a Sunday. And the local policemen, as respected pillars of the community, were, of course, expected to respect the laws of the Sabbath and not work, thus allowing time for the locals to move the whisky and other salvage goods to better hiding places all around the island. An official salvage operation was mounted by a Glasgow company with the aid of their salvage ship under the command of Captain Edward Lauriston. The salvage crew managed to bring out 13,500 cases of whisky and 3 full casks from the wreck. Several eyewitnesses later said that the salvors helped themselves to the whisky whenever they wanted and returned to their billets in Eriskay and South Uist with the bottles and actually share some of it with the islanders themselves. As official salvage operations were called off, the ship's hull was dynamited to destroy any further temptation to explore its contents. But the odd bottle was still washed up on nearby beaches, and a local diver even found 8 bottles of whisky in the wreck as recently as 1987. The 2 of these were sold for just over £12,000, which is about $15,000, $16,000 by the Scotch whisky auctions in 2013. So far, so familiar. It's obviously a romantic yet true tale, and one which inspired the 1947 book Whisky Galore by Compton Mackenzie, who had himself actually lived on the Isle of Eriskay for a while. And the 1949 film of the same name, directed by Alexander McKendrick, and one of the most enduring and loved of the Ealing comedies, which bizarrely retitled Tight Little Island in the United States. Strange name. But an arguably even more intriguing aspect of the SS politician story remained unknown to all but a few until some 60 years after the event. According to documents from the Crown Agents released by the Public Records Office in 2001, hold number 5 didn't just contain whisky, it also held 290,000 10-shilling and £1 notes, destined for the then colony of Jamaica. In other words, about £300,000, or in modern terms, several million pounds worth. At first, the authorities were not hugely concerned. They were much more focused on recovering the missing whisky, which they were very aware of being like liquid gold to the islanders. The 8 cases containing the money were first reported to be covered in fuel and water, then presumed swept away by the seas. At one point, the head of the salvage operation was said to have given away a few as souvenirs. Even some of the island children were found to be playing with the water-stained banknotes. Then reports filtered through of some of the notes being found on the island of Benbecula, 25 miles to the north of the wreck site. Now, this was potentially more worrying, but even if the islanders had got their hands on some of the money, what would they spend it on? I mean, in the Outer Hebrides of tiny little islands, during wartime? By June 1941, 4 months after the SS politician's demise, branches of the Barclays and Midlands Bank in Liverpool in England began reporting the presentation of water-damaged Jamaican 10 shillings and £1 notes. Then by 1943, the notes had actually turned up in London across the south of England, in Stoke-on-Trent and into the north of Scotland. So by 1958, the Crown Agents had made a final tally of the 290,000 notes. 211,267 had been recovered. So 2,329 had been presented in banks all over the world, including the United States, Switzerland, Ireland, Malta, and of course in Jamaica. And the agents estimated about 2/3 of these had actually been presented in good faith. Yeah, right. That leaves 76,404 notes, or about £50,000 worth, unaccounted for, along with maybe 24,000 bottles of whisky, not to mention the rest of the ship's cargo. How much was taken by the sea, and how much fell prey to impromptu salvage operations mounted by the locals of Eriskay and Barra and North and South Uist, Lewis and Harris? Well, we'll almost certainly never know. Suffice to say, there were some very happy faces on the good people of the Western Isles, and some fine tales of daring salvage and creative dodging of customs and excise men. Around 1995, I met a charming elderly lady with a melodic, lilting Hebridean accent who'd lived on Eriskay at the time of the SS politician's foundering on the rocks. She told me of some of the characters on the island who had been involved in shall we say, liberation of some cases of whisky to save it from the ravages of the Atlantic. As she reminisced of that fateful night, she rummaged in her purse and took out a neatly folded piece of paper, which she carefully unfolded and handed to me to inspect. It was an aged piece, elaborately printed with blue-grey ink, proclaiming, Government of Jamaica, £1.
Wow, amazing. That was so fascinating. I had no idea any of that ever happened.
Yeah.
That's what I love about what you do, Simon, is you really are teaching the world
Well,
Scottish.
there we are. I mean, I'm not saying where this whiskey came from, but it's very tasty, slightly salty.
A little salty. I love it.
At the end of the show, I'll be away just to count my money and just to check everything's all
Just to
right.
check. Yeah, that was very interesting how they kept that quiet. Well, I could go on talking and talking, but time is going by so fast. And we're
Yes,
going to be wrapping up, and I know you have a little bit more to share with us, some wisdom.
we have. On this day, in 1498, Christopher Columbus is the first European to discover the island of Trinidad on his third voyage. It's quite close to Jamaica, isn't it? Now, I wonder what he's carrying. In 1792, the cornerstone was laid for the first US government building, the US Mint in Philadelphia. In 1917, World War I, Battle of Passchendaele, the Third Battle of Ypres begins, going on to cost approximately 500,000 casualties. In 1971, Apollo 15 astronauts James B. Irwin and David Scott first used their four-wheeled battery-powered lunar roving vehicle to explore the moon's surface. I presume they didn't have a problem finding a parking space. For birthdays, 1965, J.K. Rowling, the English writer and novelist of Harry Potter fame, was born in Yale in Gloucestershire, and she's aged 58 today. Happy birthday, J.K. I apologise now for nearly running you over when you were filming the original Harry Potter series and so on, but I decided to swerve a little bit wider, realising who you were, and also the colour of your clothes didn't match the paintwork on my car. Now, in 2023, there's a rare spotless giraffe, the only one known in the world, born at Bright Zoo in Limehouse, Tennessee. It's one today. Happy birthday, spotless giraffe. Is that spotless like it doesn't have spots, or is it just spotlessly clean? I wonder. Deaths. In 54 BC, we've got Aurelia Cotta, the mother of Julius Caesar, who died aged 66. Don't ask me how I found out her name and what age she was. You never ask a lady what age she is, especially the wife of somebody as savage as Julius Caesar. So she was 66 when she passed away. In 1875, Andrew Johnson, the 17th US president, dies of a stroke, aged 66. I'm very glad I'm past the age of 66 now. I am hoping I have now got a much longer life today.
Yes, 66 is very young as far as I'm concerned.
Me too. But we passed that one while we're home dry, we're clear.
Praise God, right? So
Yeah.
I'm aiming for 300, so there you go.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's a pretty high target to go for. Yes, I like somebody that's got ambition.
Yeah. Well, maybe if I have some of that Scottish whiskey, it'll keep that heart ticking.
Absolutely, yes, yes.
Well, I want to congratulate you also for your new show. That's very exciting. And
Yes, the Scottish Connection with Simon Macdonald. Goodness gracious.
and it's going to be on later today, correct?
It is indeed 9:30 UK time, 9:30 this evening. So very excited to see how it turns out.
It's going to be fabulous, and I think it should be in all the schools so we can all learn, not just in Scotland, but over here too.
And maybe be teaching them bad habits about whiskey galore.
They're going to go home and see what's in their parents' cabinet, liquor cabinet.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Well, I am so sad to say that we actually have to say goodbye as the Anne Scotland show is about to start, followed by the Royally Rich Lifestyle show, and followed by, it's so exciting now to have, Simon, the Royally Breaking News from London. Isn't that amazing that we have that?
Yes,
It's
fantastic.
so incredible. So everyone, please stay tuned, and we look forward to you seeing the rest of our shows. So bye for now. Have a great day.
Yes. Bye just now.